All right, let's welcome back to Straight Fire a guy who knows some NBA. We've been sparring over basketball for years. I love chopping it up with Ric Bucher, longtime NBA columnist, opinionator, reporter. He's done it all. It's almost All-Star break, Rick. How you feeling, man?
I'm feeling good. I'm glad that we're at All-Star break. I have to admit, I'm intrigued to see what this USA versus the world
Hmm.
format is
Yeah.
going to produce. I want to know because there's always been sort of an anti with American players toward Europeans. Like you're trying to steal our game, you're trying
Yeah.
to come over here and take over. And the reality is they kind of have if you look at
You're
the
taking our
viewpoint,
jobs.
right?
Where have we heard that before? Yeah.
And so I'm just wondering whether that sort of quiet grudge match is going to show itself in the level of competition if these guys are going to have something to prove. And the real
Mm,
question is, so have we? I'm trying to think now. Is Luka Doncic playing or
come
not
on.
playing?
No
Do we
shot.
know?
I don't see Luca playing. I can't imagine Giannis is playing. I mean, I'm assuming one or two other guys will drop out. Like there's just no real incentive to play for like a guy like Şengün who's going to be huge for the Rockets here down the stretch. Like, well, it's tough for me, but I don't know. Maybe I don't know.
Well, so here's the thing, though. If I looking at the player voting for All Star, Luka Doncic was number one among fans, tied for number two among the media, and was sixth or seventh among players. He was not a starter in the minds of the players.
That's
So
dumb.
I'm just wondering whether Luca, I don't think Wemby was either. I think it was Anthony Edwards and Kevin Durant had more votes from the players than Wemby and Luca. So I was just wondering whether those guys would come out in this game and like, oh, so you guys you don't think I'm an all-star, huh?
Hmm.
And would play like it because that's really what we need. It can't be about how much money they're going to give them. It has to be about bragging rights. And so that's what I'm curious to see. But if they're not playing, then it's a moot
Yeah,
point.
it's interesting. Yeah, you say Kevin Durant over according to who the players. So KD is
According to
loved,
players,
right?
Kevin Durant and Anthony Edwards were starters, and Victor Wembanyama and Luka Doncic were not.
Yeah, the players don't really look at player efficiency rating. KD
No,
35th
they.
in the
I'm pretty
league.
sure they do not.
They do not. Luca's sixth in the league. Okay, Luca's like an MVP candidate. Kevin Durant, I love him. The players just like KD. They look up to him. Nobody looked up to Luca, you know. So
Yeah.
it's like I can't ride too much with the All Star stuff. But Rick, I do want to ask. So I was at Lakers, Spurs on Tuesday night, and as
Hmm.
soon as the Lakers ruled out Reeves and Smart and LeBron and Luca, I was like, come on, what are we doing here? My one takeaway, I was with a buddy, and he's like, man, the Laker backups are getting thrashed by largely the Spurs backups in the second half.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Carter Bryant's out here looking like one of the best players on the floor, the rookie from Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
And uh, we started talking and it was like, I wonder if Rob Pelinka is going to get any shrapnel from a loss like this when the new ownership group is looking and it's like, oh, we're missing our old guy LeBron, Lucas hurt, Reeves is, and what else do we have?
Yeah.
And you just look and you're like, interesting. I wonder if the Lakers are the most interesting team heading into this offseason, given the LeBron situation, the cap space, maybe the chase for Giannis. I know people are sick of the Lakers, but Rick, there's a lot going on here.
They're going to be way more interesting this summer than they are this season. The
Oh,
season's
come on.
the season's kind of played. I mean, honestly, what you saw is a referendum on what they are. They don't have a lot of um, depth or versatility on this roster. They don't have the kind of pieces in particular that you need to build around Luka Doncic. Let's not forget, one, he didn't win right away in Dallas. Like they had to build the right team around him to take advantage of everything that he's capable of doing and the very obvious weaknesses that he has in terms of his effort at the defensive end. So, and then needing players that are okay with a guy dominating the ball as much as Luka does. The guys are still willing to do all the dirty work. So it takes a beat or two in order to build that kind of team to have the success there. The other part is look, there was actually legitimate reason for the Dallas Mavericks to entertain moving Luka because of injuries and because of that defense. They just didn't get enough back for him. Like if they had gotten a mother load, then I think that honestly, then getting Cooper Flagg and getting a mother load, the Dallas Maverick fans might look at it a little bit different. It wouldn't look as bad as it does. So to me, that's the biggest issue here. Not so much that Luka hasn't demonstrated that there are questions about what he's going to be going forward physically, but the fact that the Dallas Mavericks sold him on pennies for the dollar.
Yeah. Well, so let me push back a little against the Lakers aren't great narrative, not that interesting this season. So I'll use last season as an example. And again, no, in hindsight, okay. Last year at this time, the Cavs were the number one team in the East by a long shot. And then it was like the Celtics. Oh my gosh, can the Celtics beat the Cavs? And then the Knicks were really, really good. You know who wasn't being talked about? The Pacers, who were not a good defensive team. We looked at the odds. They were not heading into the playoffs. They were not one of the top 10 odds to win the title. So the Pacers, not a great defensive team. And then all of a sudden get hot, things break their way. Cavs get exposed as frauds, right? Some injuries to Jason Tatum. And then the Pacers take down the Knicks in an upset and needed a miracle comeback in game one, I think it was. And next thing you know, they're in the finals in game 7. So like things can happen around the league.
Okay.
I know the Lakers are not great, Rick, but if things break their way, if they're healthy, you're telling me you don't think they've got any shot at the finals?
No. If they were in the Eastern Conference, maybe.
Well, who are the teams better than them right now in the West?
Well, because the Cleveland Cavaliers proved that they weren't up to the task.
Right. Maybe the Spurs aren't up to the task.
Story before with the Utah Jazz.
Yeah.
Same star, Donovan Mitchell.
Toronto Raptors. Yeah, we've seen
best record, get to the playoffs, can't live up to it. The New York Knicks, okay, really nice team, but unproven, right? Meanwhile, in the Western Conference, Oklahoma City is legit and has proved it. Denver Nuggets are legit and have proved it.
Can't stay healthy, though.
San Antonio Spurs are scary.
I love them. Yeah.
There's reason to look at them, as you just noted, in the way that they played against the Lakers with their backups, that they have more going for them right now. The reality is you have proven championship caliber teams and proven championship caliber stars in the Western Conference that the Lakers have to get through in order to make a run like the Indiana Pacers. The Indiana Pacers caught fire at the right time. You're right. Totally unexpected. But if you look at what they had, they're built a lot different than these Lakers.
Yeah, they're younger.
They were young and deep and had a great coach, proven coach in Rick Carlisle, championship level coach. I'm not taking anything away from JJ Redick. I think he's done an admirable job under difficult circumstances. But I don't look at the same ingredients with this Lakers team that I do with that Indiana Pacers team.
There's certainly different ingredients. And we'll see with Luka, a healthy Reeves. The thing is, we don't know what Luka, Reeves, and LeBron can do. I think they played like 40 games together in a year and change, maybe 30. So we'll see. I know not a lot of defense being played there. Defend anyone, yes. Well, they got Luke Kennard, though. They got Luke Kennard.
Defend.
Luke Kennard at the deadline.
You get to the playoffs with them, it was like every time you come down the floor, okay, who are we going to pick on this time?
Yeah.
It's
choice.
Tough.
Let me just drill down briefly on the Lakers and the LeBron situation. Worst kept secret in the league. LeBron's final year of his contract.
Yep.
And the only reasonable answers I've heard is he could take less to play for the Cavs somehow, or he could take a lot less to play for the Lakers.
Yeah.
Is there a door number 3 where LeBron says, sorry, guys, I'm averaging 22, 7, and 6. I want $40 million a year. Is anybody willing to give it to me? Oh. Is there even a door 3 other than Lakers or Cavs that maybe think outside the box here? Is there a scenario we don't have? Is there anything?
Not that door where he gets paid, but the door where he goes, as hard as it is for me to imagine, but if I'm going to create a door number 3 scenario, it would be Joe Lacob convincing him to come and make a run with Steph Curry and whoever's healthy next year with the Warriors. Now, again, he would have to be taking a lot less. He would have to be taking a discount. But I dare say that wherever LeBron plays next year, he's going to be taking a discount.
You think he's definitely playing next year?
I don't know anything definite about LeBron James, and LeBron James is doing his best to make sure that nobody knows what's definitely going to happen with him next year. This is vintage LeBron James. I want to keep everybody guessing.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say, I don't really know. I haven't even thought about it. I haven't really thought about, whether I'm going to play next year or where I'm going to play next year, and it defies the imagination that he's never considered it or given it a thought. But what does it do? It keeps the spotlight on him. It
Hmm.
keeps the attention on him, in spite of the fact that he's on a team that, as I see it, is not a legitimate contender in the Western Conference.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I think most likely I would lean like 51% that he up and retires after the season. Doesn't want one of these long, drawn out things, despite what you just
But
said.
can yeah, but Jason, can you really see him missing out on a farewell tour?
Well,
That
the
seems to be
second
right up his alley.
it does, but the second leg to me would be Adam Silver and him have some kind of wink nod agreement where Silver says we're expanding and LeBron is going to be an owner like right out of the gate. So he's still relevant and still quote unquote in the game. Now, I don't know if that's even possible to do it that quickly,
Yeah.
but LeBron's, like you said, he's not going to just be gone. Yeah, he's still playing too good. 22, 7, and 6 is pretty damn good. The defense shaky, but is there a world where he comes out of the box and was like, hey, let me get my veteran guys, the real monsters, old guys, and we go to, I don't know, Brooklyn, and we try to cook up some stuff in the East.
No, I mean, look, I just consider where he is in his life off the court.
That's right.
Does he want to uproot everything for
No.
what? And even that, putting together the Monstars and doing it in Brooklyn, I mean, that could get ugly in a hurry.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
it sounds good. It
That's
sounds really
fun.
good. And it would
Yeah.
make for, like, maybe it might make for a movie. But if you got to live it for 82 games, if
No.
you got to live it for 7 months, like, mm,
We already saw that with
that
Brooklyn with
it, it
Pierce,
it sounds
KG.
good.
Yeah.
It doesn't pan out in reality.
All right, one more leg of the Lakers before we move to other teams. I just find them fascinating. Oh, actually, two more, real quick. Hypothetical: if Palinka gets rubbed out, do you see the Lakers making a move on, say, Bob Myers?
Sure, I could see that. I don't know that Bob Myers. Actually, I don't know whether it would be about money. The Lakers is just a very complicated situation for anybody who's going to go in there and run them.
Yeah.
And let's not forget, Jeannie Buss is still the governor, which means that Linda Rambis and Kurt Rambis are still factors in that front office. There's just a lot. There's so much palace intrigue there, and from what I know, the palace intrigue and the involvement of the owner and the high stakes that are expected from teams that aren't necessarily up to the being able to realize them. All of that is what prompted Bob to say, I'm done with the Warriors. Like, I've done this long enough. What the expectations are and what the returns are no longer worth it. Let me go take a break. And I would dare say I wouldn't be surprised if Steve Kerr followed him because of that situation. So the Lakers just feel a little bit too much like that, where there's very, very high expectations and not necessarily the wherewithal to get it done on the timeline.
Interesting. I thought Bob Myers left because he didn't want to be the bad guy and break up the band, the Draymond, the Clay, and he let it go too long and said, I got to bounce.
I'm sure. I mean, that's part of it. That's part of it. But it's also the expectation from the owner that we want you to keep the band together, and we want you to sell tickets, and we want you to develop the young guys, and we still want you to chase championships. It was like, that's a full platter of things to get done that aren't necessarily things that work well together. And that was what Bob was charged with, and nothing less than being a title contender it remains the expectation in Golden State,
Yeah.
as unrealistic as that is at this point.
All right. Well, so one last one on the Lakers. Let's be realistic here. Giannis can put out all the dumb Wolf of Wall Street memes he wants. He ain't going to be on the Bucks next year. Okay, that's official. I don't care what he says publicly. Actions speak way louder. And behind the scenes, he's been like, guys, get me out of here without making me look like the bad guy. Giannis, I think everybody thinks the Knicks go after Giannis if they don't win the title. I will posit that the Lakers, by dangling Austin Reeves, whatever else, and I think it's 3 or 4 firsts, has a mildly attractive deal. And if Giannis says, I'm not signing in Toronto, I'm not signing in Orlando, so don't trade me there, I will sign in LA. He does hold all the cards. Now, he hasn't played that yet,
Yeah.
But Rick, he can play that card. I'm only signing in XYZ.
If I no, I think all of that is true. I just don't know that the Lakers are on that list or that place that he wants to go to. I've
Mm.
heard nothing to that end, and I don't have any reason to believe that he would want to do that for some of what I've already pointed out, which is the Western Conference is a minefield right now.
Oh, yeah.
And the idea that he wants to go up against Victor Wembanyama, who's just beginning to come along.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, where can he? You're going to join the Lakers? Okay, so it's you and Luka Doncic, and then what? Right? And you're talking about two guys that are paid top dollar. This is a little bit like the NFL with quarterbacks. I don't
Mm.
think it's any mistake that in the Super Bowl we had two quarterbacks that are not being paid top dollar, which then allows you to build an actual team. And you see the same thing with NBA teams. For all that Steph Curry is, he's making $60 million. Jimmy Butler, Draymond Green, and Steph Curry take up 75% of the cap based on what they've been.
Mm.
And so, how do you build out the rest of the team? You could say the same thing when you look at the Lakers. The money invested in LeBron and Luka alone really limits what you can do elsewhere. And so, and now you're looking at, you got to pay Austin Reeves. So I look at that situation, and I think that if there's a place that makes a lot of sense to me, it's that he stays in the Eastern Conference. He goes to the Miami Heat. They can certainly make an offer that is, as far as a rebuilding package, is far greater for Milwaukee than anything that the Lakers could offer.
But would they have to give up Bam?
I think there's a way in which they wouldn't give up Bam. I think there's a way if it was Khalil Ware, who I think is a really young, is his best years are ahead of him. I think he's a legit starting center. Tyler Hero, 3 future firsts. I'm trying to think if there's another young guy there that they'd have to throw in. But
I
I
mean,
think there's a way
Jaquez,
for them
Wiggin,
to. I think there's a way for Miami to make it happen, and from all indications, that's one of the places that that Giannis would be interested in going, and that in the big picture, he knows that staying in the East is probably his most direct path to getting to the finals.
Yeah, I mean, how much do you think that matters? Because why wouldn't he say, "Holy hell, Orlando"? If Orlando gives up Paolo Banchero, who is a stud, he's definitely better than Austin Reeves and better than Tyler Hero, and I think he's the best player they could get back, and picks. And Giannis would go to Orlando to play with Wagner, Jalen Suggs, and Desmond Bane. I think that's the best team in the East, is it not?
Could be. If Orlando decides to go that direction, I think Orlando right now
Something's going on there.
Decision
Yeah.
on their coaching situation. The feeling around the league is that team is underperforming in a vast way, and I don't mean to cast aspersions on Jamal Mosley. I like him. I'm just telling you what the league is telling me, what scouts are telling me, which is if you were going to put a bet on the next coach to get dropped, it could be Mosley.
Who's the hottest name in the league? Like, Orlando's a good job, man. I'm just telling you, when you look at talent, like Anthony Black, he looks like he's a big time player. He's super young.
No,
but
I mean him, Tristan da Silva, like they have a great roster, and there's people out there that are trying to hang it all on Banchero. I really don't think it's that. I think that they trying to figure out, they've had so many injuries over the last couple of years that they haven't had to find a way to utilize all of the pieces. Franz working with Paolo, working with Suggs, now you add Desmond Bane to the equation. I mean, a lot of it is you got a wealth of talent, but you got to figure out how do you make it all work together.
That's an attractive coaching job, Orlando. I mean, again, I have family in Orlando. They're big time Magic fans. But anyway,
I've been through not only the roster and location's not bad. Obviously, the weather is good, but their facility, the amount of money that they've put in their facility, it is unbelievable. They have everything you could ever ask for in their training facility, and it's right there next to the arena.
Let's go to the Cavs real quick. Usually people don't care about Cleveland. They were exposed as kind of fraudulent last year. Yep. But I will say the Harden-Mitchell backcourt early returns, kind of spicy. Still a little deficient on the wing. They got the young kid who's emerging. Tyson, I think is his name. They got Mobley and Allen when healthy. They look like they're going to be a problem in the playoffs in the East. Any early thoughts on Mitchell or Harden?
It's looked good so far, no question about it. I still, when you get to the postseason, I think that they have the same problem, maybe alleviated a little bit with James Harden, but it's still a backcourt that does not defend well.
No.
And again, we're talking about like Cleveland making good on making a run to the conference finals or the finals. I'm taking Detroit over them.
Are you?
Without question.
Wow.
I'm taking the Boston Celtics over them. Again, because of the backcourt matchups. I can put big athletic guys on both Donovan Mitchell and James Harden and make the game hard on them. And then if I'm doing that, where else am I going to go for that scoring? And I still
hold on, wait
as
a
much
second.
as James Harden.
Is this a Tatumless Boston? You still are taking them over Cleveland?
The way they're playing and the young guys that have come along and evolved and their playoff experience and their ability to defend. Yeah, I'm not a big believer in what the Cavs have, and largely, and this is going to sound like a knock on Donovan Mitchell is a great guy to have as the face of your franchise. Good citizen, great personality, dynamic player. But the fact of the matter is he's a 6'2" shooting guard. That's the reality. And 6'2" shooting guards just don't get very far in the playoffs. They can be great during the regular season. And if you're asking me, is James Harden going to suddenly have the playoff run that we've always expected? We have too much evidence to the contrary that that's just not in James Harden's DNA. So that's where, as promising as the early returns look, the idea that the Cleveland Cavaliers are now some, I don't know, juggernaut that is just going to blow past Detroit and Boston, the Knicks. I mean, anytime I can name three teams that I look at and I go, they're better than you are.
Oh, geez.
How am I supposed to expect that you're going to get to the conference finals?
Let me ask you about these Pistons. So I'm looking at the stats. Cade Cunningham obviously is an all NBA player. I can't think of a contender where the drop off from the star to the second best player is bigger than the Pistons.
I think you're underestimating Jalen Duren.
Oh, come on. Really?
As a two-way player, as a force, as a guy who fits. Again, this team is a little bit like the Warriors in their heyday, where the pieces fit together so well.
What?
And the hierarchy of roles, all of that, and their hunger, their willingness to defend, their willingness to support each other in the way they play. Like you can't put a price on that. Wow. And as you said, Cade Cunningham, I don't think he's just all NBA. I think he's an MVP candidate. I don't hate that. I take him 10 days out of 10 over Donovan Mitchell, and I don't even think twice.
Yeah,
I would say
probably
the same. I take him over Jaylen Brown, and I certainly take him over Jalen Brunson.
Wait, it's NBA Finals MVP Jaylen Brown, and that's
yeah.
Oh, all right. Now you're getting crazy.
Cade hasn't proved it yet, and Jalen has. But if you're asking me if I'm starting a team right now, who I'm taking Cade Cunningham.
Okay,
over
hold
all
on.
those guys.
All right, time out, Rick. So Cade Cunningham in the first round against the Knicks last year, he was good. Averaged 25, shot 17% on threes.
Yeah.
Like, can we slow down? I mean, Boston has done it multiple years in the playoffs.
I watched Kobe shoot multiple air balls against the Utah Jazz.
He was like a teenager.
When a guy has it, I'm willing to put my money on him and say he's going to figure it out and he's going to get better, because that's what Cade Cunningham has done every year. Sure, it was like first run in the postseason. I'm not the least bit worried that Cade Cunningham is some flash in the pan. I'm
not worried about him, Rick. It's Jalen Duren he needs the ball in his hands on the block to score or getting fed. Come on. He needs the ball inside. I need another. Who's their second best wing creator? It was supposed to be Jaden Ivey. It's not. And now they pick up Red Velvet. Like he's supposed to do something. When the court shrinks and the Knicks trot out OG, Bridges, and Hart, I
Yeah.
just think that they're going to swallow up Cade, and I don't. I think the Knicks win
If I'm
that
not
series.
mistaken, they haven't done that during the regular season when
Yeah,
they had the
Detroit's a
chance.
little
So,
motivated.
so mm, we'll see.
And in the West, is there anybody else besides me who think the San Antonio Spurs are the team to beat? Not because of that Laker win, because they own the Thunder.
Yeah.
And Rick, we had really good seats last night. I'm watching this team, the swagger, and it's not like cocky; it's just confident. I mean, Steph Castle walks out there, and he's basically like, "I'm probably going to pick you in the backcourt,
Oh
and
yeah.
then I'm going to drive on you and dunk on you."
Yeah.
And Vassell is, I mean, he's not afraid. Champagne's not afraid. Wemby, when he wants to, could just eat anybody up. This team is amazing. I
It
think
is.
it's a Knicks Spurs finals.
Oh, that's daring. I don't see the Knicks getting there, but
I mean, they
and I
just
don't
met
see
in
the
the NBA
Spurs
Cup
getting there
finals.
either. I just think there's a year of learning when it comes to the postseason.
It's
A
tough.
little bit
Yeah.
like Cade Cunningham and the Pistons last year. Like you need to get a taste of it. You need to see what it's all about. You have to realize just how difficult it is to make a run and all the adjustments that have to be made. So that's where I don't. I think they're on their way, and I could see them second round, maybe even conference finals. Big thing in the Western Conference is going to be who sees who when.
Yeah.
That's going to be it because I if everyone's healthy, I think the Denver Nuggets are right there as well.
I don't disagree. Nuggets are really good. As of now, it would be Thunder versus Nuggets in round two. And we saw that last year. If Aaron Gordon doesn't get hurt,
Yeah,
Nuggets may win that.
you think the Nuggets may win that?
I think, well, last year they
Well,
could
I
have
think
won
the
that
Nuggets
series.
should have
Yeah.
won it last year. Could have won it
Yeah,
last
I'm
year.
not as high on the Thunder as everybody else. I mean, I know SGA, blah, blah, blah. I get it. They're really, really good. Amazing roster. Sam Presti did a great job. They won the title. All that being said, I don't think you walk into that series. Denver's not scared of them. And the
No,
Spurs certainly
agreed,
are not.
agreed, agreed. But
Lakers,
but
maybe.
not intimidated. But at the same time, I mean, OKC did prove some things, and they do know it. That just because they're not playing at the same level now,
Yeah.
we've seen that plenty of times with NBA defending champions, where it's
Yeah.
like, all right, we know this is going to be a long season. We know what we want to accomplish at the end of it. And they got off that phenomenal start, and
Mm-hmm.
then it was like, okay, now we're in December. What are we? Are we gonna? Can we keep this going? And once they couldn't, once they lost a series of games, and it was no, like
Yeah.
the 80-2 that Kendrick Perkins was predicting was no longer within reach. Then it was sort of like, okay, now what are we shooting for? And it's, what, we're shooting to be in the pole position when we get to the postseason, and really anything beyond that is not all that important.
All right, Rick, last one. So Cooper Flagg, before you had played a game, I hosted the herd, you came on, and I said over under 1.5 MVPs for Cooper Flagg.
Yeah,
You looked at me like I had two heads, made a couple of cracks,
yeah,
jokes at me, and,
yeah,
and and that was it. And then the internet had fun with it.
yeah.
We are now like 7 months into that conversation. We've seen
Yes.
Cooper Flagg maybe emerge as the best teenager in NBA history. I don't know. It's close. Have you revised your take? Is this a multiple MVP kind of guy who can dominate, face of the league, MVP, blah, blah, blah?
I'm not ready to say that he's a multiple MVP guy. Is he
Okay.
capable of winning an MVP? Yeah, I will go there. He has shown me something that I wasn't ready to sign up for when he came out of Duke. So, kudos to you for going in that direction
Hot
early,
takes, baby.
because I was more skeptical for sure when it came to that, and he's just demonstrated in a multitude of ways that he's going to be special. All that said, there is a draft class coming
Mhm.
this year that is going to put up some formidable competition for those MVP spots in the future. And here's the other part. Is Wemby going to let him win any? Like, we
Oh,
still, we still, as of right now, Cade Cunningham is our best hope. Cade Cunningham and maybe Jaylen Brown are our best hopes for having Americans on the MVP ballot. Never
okay.
mind, never mind winning it. Like,
Well, Anthony Edwards. Hey, come on.
what? Come on, Anthony Edwards. What? Neither the
He can't be
team's
an
record
MVP.
nor his performance has been up to MVP
Well, something's going on with that team.
recognition.
We could get into it next time. They tried to trade a bunch of guys for Giannis, and now those guys don't seem to be performing as well. Rudy Gobert saying some dumb stuff,
Imagine
but
that.
when you just look at Edwards, I mean, he's unbelievable. I mean, Anthony Edwards is great,
Yeah,
but
he is.
so Cooper Flagg leads the Mavs in points. He's not the leader in rebounds, but leads in assists, leads in steals. There are LeBron vibes here. I know he's not as obviously polished offensively, but I'm just
Come
this
on,
guy.
Jay.
LeBron at
You
19?
almost got away with
Wait, do you
doing
remember
a
LeBron at
segment
19?
with me without saying something preposterous. But
Come
then
on,
you just
LeBron at
you
19, not
jumped
LeBron the
in.
GOAT.
Cooper Flagg, LeBron James. What are you talking about?
As rookie teenagers, no? The stats line up like Cooper's
what
right there
in
with
terms
him.
of their performances? Okay,
Production.
all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, I wasn't saying he's going to be the greatest basketball player in the history of the sport. No.
That's the tricky
Got to
part.
compare apples to apples.
Like you say a name, people immediately go, "Oh, you think he's going to be that?"
Well, remember the whole SGA stuff? I was like, I would build around Cooper Flagg over SGA. And people are like, you lost your mind. I was like, Cooper Flagg is 19. Look what he's doing. SGA is like 25. Look what he's doing. What do you think Cooper Flagg's going to be at when he's 25?
Well,
and that's kind of the point.
But that's a fair question because he's a very polished, developed player at 19 already. And that was one of the reasons why I was reluctant to go, well, he's a certified future MVP, because like the question is, how much can he grow? He's grown in leaps and bounds this season, no question about it. But like, where's the ceiling? How much better can he get? He's athletic, but he's not an athletic freak like a Giannis Antetokounmpo or a LeBron James, or even a Shai Gilgeous-Alexander for a 6'6" point guard. So that's where I just, he's been great, but for him to go where you see him going, he's got at least like another 2 levels to go to. Let's not forget, I mean, this is still a losing Dallas Mavericks team. He's had big games and they have lost.
I mean, LeBron, I think
Charlotte Hornets.
Yeah, I think LeBron was a 40-win team as a rookie, so they didn't make the playoffs. But
they were not that. I think.
Maybe that was year 2. I'm sorry. Maybe that was year 2. First year they were in the 20s. But the other aspect to this is Dallas is not incentivized to win right now. They want to lose. They want to get maybe a flyer, AJ DeBonsa, or one of these studs. They want a chance at that. So the NBA, and that's another topic we could do at some point. Like, I would say like 10 teams are actively trying to lose games now. And so it's tough to handicap it. But Flagg, I don't know. That's interesting.
I'm actually doing a podcast. I'm doing a podcast on this subject because I've been, and maybe it's because I was introduced to tanking the very first year I covered the league. I was a beat writer for the Golden State Warriors. They tanked. They wanted Sean Bradley. They ended up with Chris Webber.
Oh,
it did not work. That's the bottom line. Everybody getting all breathless over all the teams that are tanking. First of all, this is a very unique year in terms of the talent in this draft. You've got you could set a record for the number of all-stars that come out of this draft class. Mm-hmm. And so it's very unique. And I'm not going to fault the Utah Jazzes and the Washington Wizards that aren't able to attract free agent stars.
Yeah, they're playing the system.
Decided, you know what? We got our other talent. We were able to trade for it. And for this 1 year, we're going to tank and try to get one of those top stars. Because if you look at the way those teams are structured, they're set up. This is not like the start of tanking. They're tanking this year for this draft. I personally just don't have a problem with it because I've watched tanking in various ways over the 30 years that I've covered the league. It's not a new thing. It may be a little more blatant right now.
It is.
Yeah. And I would associate it with this particular draft. It's like, look, the value of tanking is just too hard to ignore. I appreciate that they're not lying to us. They're not trying to pretend that they're not doing what they're doing. Thank you for not insulting my intelligence. Damn right we're tanking.
Yeah.
We can get an AJ DeBonsa. We can get a Darren Peterson. We can get a Kingston Flemings. We can get a Cam Boozer. We can get, I mean, the number of names that I could throw out 10 names.
Caleb Wilson of UNC is awesome. I like that guy a lot.
The number of
also,
guys
Rick,
that have the potential.
Yeah.
Not all. There are going to be some
Some flops. Yeah.
I got some concerns about Darren Peterson right now. I'll tell you,
Well,
but
hold on. So the
there will be some
Pistons,
stars that come out of
yeah,
this draft.
and the draft matters. The Pistons are number one in the East. They've got the number one overall pick, Cade Cunningham. He went first overall. The Thunder are number one in the West. They have the number two pick, Chet Holmgren. Spurs, third best record, number one pick, Wembanyama. The picks matter. So what? Like, it's not like the NFL, and I hate when people do that, because in the NFL, one guy is not going to totally change your fortunes like the way it is in the NBA.
But and as long as basketball can pivot off of one great player, as long as a team can change its fortunes if it gets the right best player, then there's always going to be a feeling like, why are we trying to be a middle of the road team when if we go the other direction hard, we might get that guy that gives us an opportunity to play for a championship. I would much rather see that teams actually trying to figure out how do we build a team that can vie for a championship than the teams that build team like, and they've done it. Various teams have done it. If we can just be a playoff team, we'll make some money. We'll keep our fans happy. We can just go along and get along. Like, I'd rather have the teams that are playing all or none.
Yeah, I'm with you. Ric Bucher, great stuff. Covered the NBA forever. Rick, we'll talk to you soon, buddy.
Sounds good.